Christmas! Oh, fuck that! Hello, I'm Charlie Brooker and you're watching the Screenwipe Christmas special. Christmas is the most magical time of the year, more magical even than 4 bank holidays glued together and multiplied by Easter. It's a time of peace on earth and goodwill to all men except him. But more importantly, it's a time for your TV to cough a feast of entertainment all over your living room carpet.
Holiday programmes for Tuesday on BBC One.
Yes, TV pulls out all the stops at Christmas, leading to a curious but genuine sense of excitement and occasion. You'd have to be a Cyberman not to feel a slight tingle in the loins at the first sight of the double-decker Christmas Radio Times, or the unveiling of the BBC Christmas ident, which in recent years has been a slick mini-movie with a festive theme. But used to be an altogether more charming, albeit slightly creaky affair, made with love by the BBC props department. As the 25th of December draws nearer, the TV schedule starts filling up with special festive editions of popular shows. These are often the same as a regular episode, apart from having some snow on the logo and a bit of holly round the sides.
No, I don't like this either.
Merry Christmas.
Of course, another surefire indicator that Christmas is on the way is the increased proliferation of adverts for gifts, some of them the stuff of nightmares.
Hey Furby, sing me a song.
No, I said sing me a song, not squawk like a For one or two cretins, Christmas only officially begins at the first appearance of the cockle-warming Coca-Cola Christmas ad, in which a traditional kindly Santa pushes Coke to kids. Of course, in this day and age, it seems quite brave of them to stick with an old man who hangs around with children. I keep expecting an angry mob to turn up and beat him to death with misspelled placards. Yes, today it's hard to shake the suspicion that there's something vaguely sinister about Santa, which is presumably why Debenhams have felt the need to modernise him like this.
Hey Santa, Santa baby.
Although unfortunately in the process they've turned him into a massive bell end. Hope you drive your sleigh up your own arse, you Christmas tit. The Yuletide magic truly reaches a peak on Christmas Day itself. The day starts early when the nation's kids wake up, wipe the sleepy dust from their eyes and set about tearing their presents open with selfish, grasping hands, only to wind up feeling sort of dead and empty inside because their presents are rubbish. On Christmas morning, the TV tends to be largely ignored in the background while the family potters around being awkwardly jovial. All right, you f***ers, yeah, Merry Christmas. As a result, the morning schedule tends to just guff out a treat to keep the kids quiet. That, or since it's the one time a year they can get away with it, they'll put on something that no one in their right mind would possibly watch if they weren't stranded at home with the relatives. Something like this. Noel Edmonds was a Christmas TV fixture for over 14 years, i.e. 15 years, starting with the almost unbearably exciting Live Christmas breakfast shows, broadcast from the top of a gigantic glass and concrete penis slap bang in the middle of London. These shows were basically extended technical marvels in which Noel used every broadcasting gizmo he could get his hands on, showing a kind of giggly disregard for whether it was going to be interesting to do so or not. That's why we were treated to countless live link-ups with the helicopter as it soared above London, relaying the sort of images that look unsettlingly like a low-budget British 9/11 set at Christmas.
Could we have a bit more waving there? It's very difficult to see.
I can't hear you on the phone, Noel, but I can hear you on the television.
The BBC's motto used to be, nation shall speak unto nation, and Noel made those words a thrilling reality, thanks to lots of satellite link-ups between relatives on other sides of the globe.
And this is sound of my daughter-in-law, and you know Ron, don't you?
Of course, the problem with relying on state-of-the-art technology is that it often goes wrong, adding a fairly fractious air to what's supposed to be a sort of feel-good, festive fun fest.
I think this is a fault at our end rather than a fault with the actual phone that he's holding. I'm getting nothing on this now. What was that? Can we get the Australian picture?
Noel was aided and abetted by his trusty sidekick, Mike Smitty Smith, seen here bringing his unique brand of bland effervescence to Charing Cross Hospital.
A white Christmas!
Good work, Mike. Really bloody Christmassy. This is absolute fucking gold. Oh, she's bloody... Oh, block her, Smitty. There's a laugh. Oh, that's the way.
The dizzying combination of Noel, Smitty, a helicopter, an ugly corporate tower, and of course a national holiday celebrating the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ, obviously attracted a whole host of top-notch celebrity guests. Guests such as, Michael Fish, and live via satellite, Rula Lenska and Dennis Waterman, who's turned up without a shirt.
Is the BBC Club open? Nothing's really open here at the moment.
Actually, possibly the most excruciating celebrity appearance of all time occurred on one of these shows when Howard Jones turned up live at the Charing Cross Hospital to plug his latest single. Here we see a woman in the background who looks like she doesn't want to get to know Howard well. In 1991, it was out with Telecom Tower and in with a new show, Noel's Christmas Presents, which consisted of Noel springing feel-good surprises on members of the public who'd had a pretty hard time of it recently. Like Jeremy Beadle, he'd often pop out when people were least expecting it, often leaving them looking so bewildered they'd probably get down on their knees and suck him off if he asked. He then delivered specially tailored gifts, which often escalated in niciness as they went along, reaching insane levels of goo-goo.
Silence.
Here, for example, we see a woman who's been in and out of hospital being serenaded by a choir boy. But that's not enough, so let's add a whole choir. And a marching band, and a sort of funk jazz fusion act, and a gospel choir. And last but for f***'s sake, nowhere near least...
You're dead right, Michael Ball. Son of God.
The show's unstated aim seems to have been to overwhelm the recipients until they start blubbing uncontrollably, and it certainly worked here. Well, unless she's crying because Michael Ball's just blown off or something. This bloke isn't crying, but he does have a wistful chunk of snot hanging out of his nose. Anyway, for my money, the best bits of the show are actually in between the presents themselves. I'm talking about Noel's links. Some of these were ridiculously sumptuous and seem to have been shot in the middle of the Quality Street tin.
A very happy Christmas morning to you.
At their best, these links are solid gold Alan Partridge.
On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 11 pipers piping.
11 pipers piping. And when I made a surprise visit to a marvellous school in Devon, there were 11 scholars startled.
Anyway, it's easy to be all modern and superior and snort at Noel and his silly jumpers like I've just done for the last few minutes. But I can't help thinking it's just plain nicer than the sort of thing you get today. After all, now you're more likely to switch on the TV on the 25th of December and see some sneering arsehole pouncing on strangers and rubbing shit in their faces. Then going, "Yeah, Merry Christmas," actually in a show called "Yeah, Merry Christmas," like that in quotes. Merry Christmas. Anyone who likes Christmas is a because that's what our modern world has become, ladies and gentlemen. For this Christmas special, I asked internet animator David Firth of FatPie.com to come up with a festive animation for us. Unfortunately, what he came up with was so offensive, I can only show you a few seconds, like this.
Saws are too hard to use. Be easier to use.
But luckily, he then turned it over to his fictional colleague, the very professional Jerry Jackson, who animated this replacement for us.
My name is Jerry Jackson and this is a Christmas cartoon. For Christmas dinner we had fish and chips, and it tasted horrible, cause my mum is crap at cooking. Here is your dinner, Jerry. Lol, it looks like shit, mum. I know. For my Christmas I got our Xbox 400 and a million games. What did you get, John? I got a toothpaste and toilet duck for the bathroom. Because it needs cleaning and my mum says I have to clean it, but I don't want to. I want to play computer games with Jerry Jackson. No, John, I've only got one pad and I'm not sharing because you're gay. I like the Marks and Spencer's adverts. They show food right close up and it looks right nice. Mum, can you get us some of that this Christmas? No, Jerry, we are skint, so we aren't getting our Christmas food from the car boot sale. My mum got 110 lollies for £1.5 from the car boot sale. They were Jamaican and they were expired, but it was right nice. Later that day we threw our dinner at mum because she can't cook. I have tried my best to make this fish and chips for dinner and you have thrown it in my face, literally. Mum, that is a rare posh word. Are you some kind of boffin scientist or something? You should be doing experiments. I don't think my mum could do experiments because she can't cook. That was my cartoon for Charlie Booker. Thank you for watching. I got paid £1 million for it.